For Trump, this last week has really got to suck. Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Kevin. Here's why. The Epstein saga won't go away. The Supreme Court just clipped his authority. His approval numbers are sinking, and they're at the lowest they've ever been. And now there's reporting about emergency powers in elections. When power gets challenged, watch what happens next. Stay with me. Let's talk about the weather this morning. This is going to be just an outstanding day today. The birds are just going crazy behind me. And it's just a beautiful day to come outside, get some fresh air, and watch the sunrise. All right, stay with me as we get into this. Hey, good morning. I'm glad to share a few moments with you today, reflecting on looking out the window of a train, a place where I spent 43 years thinking and analyzing the world around me. From this vantage point, you learn something about momentum, you learn something about power, and you learn something about what happens when someone pushes an engine beyond its safe limits. Hey look, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't claim to know the future, but anyone who has been paying attention can connect the dots. This last week has been devastating for Donald Trump. The Epstein saga continues to hang over him like a low signal light that won't turn green. The files, the redactions, the DOJ maneuvering, the questions about what has and has not been released is not going away. His approval numbers are deeply underwater. The American public is tired. Even some conservatives are uneasy and leaving the Republican legislatures. The Supreme Court just limited his tariff authority. That matters because when the court clips the president's wings, it exposes the limits of executive power. Then came the State of the Union, or as I call, the state of fantasy. What should have been a moment of national leadership instead felt like grievance, fantasy, and fabrication. Less vision, more vendetta. And now, yesterday's reporting suggesting decisions about emergency powers and potential federal interference in elections. I'm not saying he will succeed. I'm not saying it will happen tomorrow. I'm saying the pattern is concerning, and we have to be ready for it. Because when power is challenged, he looks for another lever. He looks for another way to deflect. When oversight threatens to expand, especially if midterms flip Congress, he appears to search for ways to consolidate control. That is not paranoia. That is pattern recognition. If the House flips, oversight returns, subpoenas, hearings, transparency. If the Senate shifts, confirmations stall and investigations widen. That is why the midterms matter so much. To me, the second term feels less like governance and more like something else. It feels like an attempt to stretch the boundaries of authority, to test how far executive power can be pushed, and what kind of madman he can align himself throughout the world. Like Putin, every engineer knows this. You can only push the throttle so far because physics push back. And on the locomotive, there's only 8 throttle notches. And that matters because I don't have unlimited power on the locomotive. It is governed, and it only allows the engine to rev so far before it stops that power. Our Constitution was built with guardrails just the same way. Separation of powers, independent courts, federalism, state control over elections. Those are not suggestions. Those are structural breaks. Structural control. So yes, I'm concerned. Concerned about emergency rhetoric, concerned about DOJ opacity, concerned about incentive to avoid accountability, not because I'm predicting catastrophe, but because I've spent a lifetime studying systems, real systems, management systems, leadership systems. And when a leader responds to constraint by trying to expand authority instead of working within limits, that is when derailments happen. People get hurt and systems get crushed. Democracy does not collapse overnight. It erodes when people stop paying attention. So let's start paying attention. Start asking questions. And the most important thing that we can do is vote. Do not surrender your power because your power is all you have in America. And the power in America does not belong to one person. It belongs to you and me and the rest of we the people of the United States of America. As we look down the track of another day, let's keep the conversation rolling.